with just one skill, the skill of lifelong learning. We as community of parents, teachers, school needs to see is the chance and choice. I think this is what every parent is worried about. Is the child happy at the end of the day? But then they are the one who are committing suicide. A school's and a parent's common interest is the child. This generation will not change. Every parent wants to become a friend of their child. The one set of parent that they have, mother and father. So at the end of the day, child is lost. And there is a dark side of technology.
So we have Dr. Seemaa Negi, Principal Director of Sanjeevani World School, Mumbai.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me for this podcast.
All right, so this education summit, like we're talking about education, a lot of principals, a lot of teachers here, educationists, owners of schools, present here talking about one thing, education and how it can be in the future. And for somebody like you, you've won awards, you've been a speaker with the diverse experience that you've had. I would like to ask you the question that when you look at this future of education, what do you think is the vital aspect that we have to keep in mind when we look at the future of education in India?
So thank you so much. I think this is a very, very relevant question, but my answer will be relatively very simple because what I feel, the moment we are empowering ourselves with one aspect of technology, within days it is changing. Okay, now within minutes it is changing. The generational gap, which was of 10 years, 20 years, now you have two siblings wherein you can find generation gap. So things are changing very, very fast. The world is changing at a very rapid speed. So what we need to do is we need to empower our children with just one skill, the skill of lifelong learning. If they are lifelong learners, trust me, they will have very strong roots. And once they have strong root, definitely then they will have the mightiest of wings to go fly and explore. We need to give them the chance and choice wherein they can explore. Doesn't matter which grade the child is studying in. If the child has entrepreneurial mindset and he or she has come up with any prototype, we as community of parents, teachers, school needs to support. The day we will start doing it, trust me, we will not worry about how future will be because our children will be more resilient. They will be ready to adapt to the changing scenario. So I often say that between B and C, that is birth and death, B and D, there is C. C is the chance and choice that we need to give to our children. And the more we will provide them with that, the world will be a better place for all of us.
I really like that analogy that you brought. Between B and D, there's C, chance. Beautiful, beautiful thought there. So when we are talking about the parents specifically, traditional Indian parents, so there's a lot of friction when it comes to unconventional career paths that we take. From my time, doctor, engineer, or CA. Other than that, it's very difficult for me also. I am a designer now. So that transition was so difficult. But now there's so many solutions to the problems that I was facing. There's access to technology, internet. So there's definitely more exposure for the parents, for the students as well. But definitely going to the unconventional career paths, there's still friction to it. So what would you like to say about that?
I think this is what every parent is worried about. Everybody wants doctors, engineers, CA, MBA, now data scientists. But we need to understand that, is the child happy at the end of the day? Are we really worried about this generation who is tech savvy? Okay, there are the people who are genius, but then they are the one who are committing suicide. So are we really worried about the happiness quotient? I always advocate that, at the end of the day, if you are happy, if you are sleeping peacefully, that is what we need to work on. Let's make a generation who is empowered enough to decide for themselves. We need to be there as school, parents, educators, society, community. We need to stand behind them. Right. So if I talk about myself, I'll prefer that I'll always say that behind a child should stand a visionary school and an understanding parent. If both of us, because see, a school's and a parent's common interest is the child. So it is not about their children or our student, it is together our children. We have to nurture them. Conventional choices will be there. There will be children who might like to drop out and follow certain other path. Do we believe in their dreams? Is the question we have to ask. See, one thing is there, you are also very, very young. This generation will not change. We have to change. We as educators, we as parents have to change. If we will not change, the friction will always be there, and then it will be like a tug of the war, children at one side and parents at one side. Rather than that, become a supportive and collaborative partner and be their parent only. There is this new fad that every parent wants to become a friend of their child. So, try and understand one thing. In a child's life, a child will get many teachers, many friends, but the child will never get this one set of parent that they have, mother and father. So if each one of us play our role well, mother is mother, father is father, teachers are teachers, community is community, I think then we are preparing them for the better world. Otherwise, parents want to be teacher, parents want to be parents, parents want to be friend, they want to do everything. So at the end of the day, child is lost. Who is my friend? Who is my parent? Who is my teacher? Where do I have to go to? And they go to technology. And there is a dark side of technology. So we need to ensure that we are giving them a nurturing environment and we are taking care of their happiness quotient. At the end of the day, if mother is happy, father is happy, teacher is happy, child is happy, definitely the generation which will come will change the world with harmony and peace.
Beautifully put again. Amazingly summarized everything that, all the issues that are hard pressing that everybody is talking about. You've covered it so well. And I've also read from your descriptions. I was going through doing my research. So you've said that you want to leave a legacy behind. The legacy is that you want to leave successful students behind. And that's such a beautiful thought. And it's inspiring to be speaking to you also, because that thought process is definitely something that is, that comes from a lot of drive, a lot of purpose that you yourself have, right? So I want to talk about a little bit about the successful student. So I would like you to define that for the viewers and for the listeners, please.
Thank you for asking that. Otherwise, I was wondering whether you'll ask me this or not. So successful student doesn't mean the one who is successful in various professional life. For me, success is not marks. For me, success is not grades. For me, success is the journey. Success is the happiness. Successful child who will be able to lead his or her life comfortably. I often quote this small phrase from Rig Veda, which says Manurbhav, Shiksha ka uddeshya hai manushya banana. The children who have become an ideal citizen, a good citizen, a child who knows what is right and what is wrong, a child who lives his or her life with true integrity. Integrity is all about not doing wrong when somebody is not there to see you. If the child follows these things, I think that is the successful student. So for me, success will never be about the position that they hold. For me, success will be if they'll come back and say, yes, we are happy, we are enjoying our life happily, and we are contributing towards our country, our society, our community, and our Mother Earth.
Amazing. I mean, I'm just admiring the thought process that you have. It's really interesting to see somebody who is in the education system, in the traditional education system, which is going through evolution of its own time. It'll take its own time to evolve. But I think it's only people like you who are thinking like this can make that change or facilitate that change. So it's really nice that students have a leader like this who is leading them and incorporating all of these things into their curriculum. So when we are talking about the education system and everything, one last thing that I would like to ask is the future. We've already touched upon that quite a few times here, but the future with respect to the teachers, because there has to be a teacher's education system as well, because they have to upskill, they have to adapt the technology, and that is a challenge in itself. So what would you like to talk about that?
Very, very interesting question. I think from last 10 days, I am personally learning about AI. So I always tell my staff that, my team basically, that whatever is there that is related to AI, I need to know everything. And when I do that, then I ensure that my team is learning that. See, we have to role model sometime. When you will tell teachers, okay, this is the course you need to take and you have to empower yourself, they go to classroom and they say, we are teaching and children are learning. They're understanding. So what is the need of that? Then comes they're hard pressed against time. You have to lead by example. You cannot say that, okay, teachers, you have to do this thing while I will not learn. So I personally believe that I do something, I post it in my staff and my team's group that this is what I have done, and those who want to do, this is the link, and please do it. And if any teacher who does that, we ensure that we are celebrating it, because learning needs to be celebrated. Yes, future is uncertain. Our children are learning from a very, very different kind of environment. They really do not want traditional learning. But then we need to handhold our teacher. We need to ensure that they are ready for this world, because trust me, technology is never going to replace teachers. But the teachers who are not going to embrace technology, or those who are not going to learn, definitely they need to worry about it. So rather than technology being a devil, make technology your friend and make your work more easy. Today, with the help of technology, our work has become so easy. We can think more, we can be better thinker, we can be more creative, we can be more collaborative. So let's do the work which only humans can do, and they can do better than technology. So empower that. Yes, skilling and upskilling is very, very important, and to all the beautiful teachers over there, because you are the one who is creating nation, who is building nation in your classroom. You teach children so many things. So I think there is nothing wrong in learning something, and the more you learn, the better teacher you will become.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing all the thoughts and your point of views here on the podcast. And thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you so much, and you're doing a fabulous job. I always say I learn from young children. I do mentor a lot of startups, and why I do that, because the kind of ideas they have. We talk about out of the box ideas, but we are in the system which is still in box. We have studied from the system which was still packed in the box somewhere. So where do we get out of the box ideas from? I think we get out of the box ideas from people like you, young generation who think differently, but yes, you are still very grounded, and that is what we have to do. So thank you so much for having me here.
Teaching should make a student wise. Everybody wants their child to be Isaac Newton or Einstein, but still we are united by one aim: protection of the country. It's very difficult to own up and say, yes, it was my fault, I did it. And that can only happen if you're humble. You will understand cultures and be able to contribute as a better citizen. Children, it's time, to learn, to understand, to apply. That is the journey of life.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Newton Classroom Podcast. Stay tuned.